think one thing that sometimes we find the hardest to understand as far as like when it comes to being a nice person versus being a good person, they are not the same thing. You can most definitely be a good person, and you don't always have to be nice. And in fact, it's not going to benefit you to always be nice. For the simple fact that there are energy vampires, there are narcissists, there are gaslighters, there are avoidance, people with an avoidant type of personality. There's all of these things. And the thing is, the people that are out here doing shadow work understand that this is little bits and pieces that they have to make sure is not within themselves. So they don't have time to be absorbing more of that from others. They're trying to get rid of that. This is something that we're trying to get out of us. We don't want any traces of narcissism. We don't want any traces of gaslighting. We don't want any traces of anything that doesn't have to do with oneness. Anything that is trying to separate, trying to dominate, trying to uphold control, trying to uphold authority over the next, it's inorganic. So it's not something that we're trying to do. We're not trying to absorb other people's shadows when we have our own. And so unfortunately, because of that, we cannot be nice to everybody. Most of the time when you are somebody that's spiritual, people are automatically going to think that you're just nice. Like, that's it. You're just a nice person. You are expected to be supportive all the time. You always have to put yourself into somebody's shoes before they see you, for who you are, right? Like, they don't have to put themselves into your shoes, but you have to put yourself into their shoes because of the fact that you're the one that has awareness, or you're the one that has some sort of enlightenment about yourself. Now you have to carry on everybody else's burdens. And yes, most of the time that's the person that we end up being, but it's not something that we chose. And so when you come back into the true nature of who you are meant to be in your purpose on this earth, you're going to shed a lot of people. You're going to find yourself actually finding more grace in solitude, more solace within solitude, peace in solitude, because you don't have to try to pretend to be anything for anybody. You can just be yourself. You don't have to try to fit into anybody's standards. You don't have to try to appease everybody's emotions. One thing that happens when a person becomes alone is they have no choice but to go within. There are a lot of people out here that can't do that. And so what happens once you start to befriend the one who siphons energy? That's what they're going to do. It's all that they know how to do. And some of the things that I've seen personally out here kind of give you cues, especially when you're an empath. You could just kind of feel it already. You could feel the cues of somebody's energy just not quite being right. Like something, for instance, somebody becoming too clingy. You ever had somebody that for some reason they just feel this entitlement to become your friend? Just because of the fact that you guys have exchanged a couple of words, or maybe you guys keep on seeing each other when you guys pass these streets because you live in the same neighborhood, and now all of a sudden this person feels like because you guys have talked, or because maybe you guys have, like, it won't even be anything that deep. A person will feel like they've had a conversation with you that, I know you've heard this before. Y'all have heard this before. I feel like I've known you my whole life. It is the sweetest thing to hear when you hear it. But that's it. Because it's something that you have to consider. Why do you feel like you've known me? You don't know me. I'm sorry. You can say that because of the fact that we were clicking and connecting in this conversation, but that does not mean that I want you to attach yourself to me. Attachment versus connection. If somebody is already seeking an attachment to you, I feel like I've known you forever. Oh, let's do this, let's do that, let's go here. We don't know each other like that. We have had one conversation. Crossing of boundaries. All of these little things that we have to watch out for when it comes to making new friends, building new connections, because those connections can quite quickly turn into attachments. Some people, they literally just want to attach themselves to you for whatever specific reason or agenda that it is that they have. Maybe it's some way that they feel like you can help them. Oh, well, let me attach myself to this person because I feel like they can help me with this. Or I'm insecure and I love the way that this lady boosted my ego. Or I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. And so I need. This is going to end up being a karmic friendship, relationship, or whatever it might be, because of the simple fact that this is a person that's only looking for the take out of the relationship that they're trying to so quickly freaking build on you. You know, I've had all types of instances with this. That's the reason why I can speak out on this, because I've had this happen to me before, y'all. I've had it happen to me countless times where I've had to literally cut people off because of the fact that they were trying to be my friend a little bit too fast. I've had this happen in multiple instances where, let me tell you something. One of the things that's going to let you know, like, number one, majority of the time. I'm sorry, y'all. Let me pause real quick. Sorry about that, y'all. But yes, one of the things that's going to most definitely let you know is how somebody reacts when you can't get back to them. How somebody reacts when you start, proving that you have boundaries and that you have your own life. There are going to be times where you can't always answer back on the phone. You can't always call somebody back. You can't always get back to somebody. That does not mean that somebody has the right to gaslight you. They don't have the right to guilt trip you. This is somebody literally crossing your boundaries. Y'all, if you didn't know, I hope you know now. If there is somebody out here that is tripping on you, especially if they haven't even known you long, like the friendship, I can see if this was a very, very long-term friendship, and then you just never, you're just always MIA, then yes, it's going to feel like, there's not really that much support. Like, I can't count on you, because damn near every time I call you, there's never any time. Now that's different, because at the end of the day, if we're going to actually make this a friendship or make this a bond, then there has to be nurture on both sides. Yes, we get it. But at the end of the day, adulting is adulting. Okay, and life be lifing. So there are going to be times where you cannot answer your phone. There are going to be times where you cannot answer that text. You could have an important business meeting. You could be with your family. You can have a family emergency. There could be something, somebody could be pregnant, and you got to hurry up and run people do not know your life. And if they automatically are going to be entitled enough to assume things, like, people will get to the God-given nerve of hitting you up, and then they'll start to get angry. Like, the fact that you're not answering me means that and sometimes folks won't even, the friendship will probably be like a couple of months, a couple of weeks at most. This is real stuff that I've been through, y'all. This is real stuff, and this has been the crap that let me know what friends I had to release. Because if you are already acting this childish, as far as a friendship, how are you about to deal with life? You have to go reevaluate about yourself before you come over here with all of that energy, acting as if life revolves around you. When I have my own life, you have your own life. This goes for anybody. And so I hope that we can all just build relationships that we know have sturdy boundaries. I don't know how much I can say it, because oftentimes, especially when you're spiritual and you're more in your light energy, I see that a lot. I hate it. I see ladies, and especially a lot of men out here that are coming into their enlightenment, and they haven't really dug deep into the shadow part yet. Or maybe they did the shadows first and then they went to the light. You never know how people balance themselves, right? And so for the folks that are in their light, they are always getting siphoned for their energy. They are always getting hacky sack for their energy. It's really only the people that have turned them shadows up and realized that they wasn't afraid of being called a bitch or being called an asshole, if you may. But for the people who haven't got there yet, I don't like seeing that. And it sometimes makes my shadow rise up. Like, you're going to leave this light being alone, because at the end of the day, I see what you're trying to do to them. You're trying to cipher their energy. You're trying to take it from them. You're trying to make it your own. And you're trying to make them feel bad if they don't serve your every will. How narcissistic can we really get out here? This is real character traits, real personality traits. And if we do not have that fire that makes folks fear crossing you in certain ways, we can't keep on being scared of being the bad person. You're not going to be the bad person just for setting boundaries. You have right to boundaries. It is literally your birthright. It is your God-given right. Okay? The Most High gave everybody free will and everybody boundaries for a reason. And if we do not exercise these boundaries, best believe somebody is going to come and cross them. Because people hate boundaries if they have an agenda. Somebody that loves you will respect your boundaries. And somebody will understand that if you're setting boundaries, it's not because you're putting up a wall and trying to make it so that way somebody cannot come into that wall. It's because of the fact that you are testing the person to see how much longevity will really be in the relationship. Will there be trust? Will there be loyalty? Will there be faith? Will there be peace? Will there be all of these fruits that are supposed to come with the unconditional love? Or is this just going to be this thing where you feel entitled to all of my energy and I have to keep on giving it back to you? Is what we're saying out here. And regardless of if anybody doesn't like it, everybody has the right to it. I'm not just saying that only spiritual people can be this way. Even if you're somebody who you haven't even really found yourself out yet, this is where it starts. This is where it starts. Boundaries, learning yourself, learning your triggers, learning what you can't deal with when it comes to people. We can't learn nothing if we don't know ourselves. I had to learn this the hard way because while I'm talking, I was the main light body back in the day. You know, in my high school years and all of that stuff, I quite literally was the toxic light body. I must do this. I must do that. Oh, I love you. Oh, even if you hurt me. Oh, and all of this. Nah, bruh. Like, I really had to get rid of that part of me because it was, and my light body is still there, but I'm like, baby, you got to take a seat. You got to make the light body take a seat. And a lot of this I talked about in my last video with the light body and the shadow body. The shadow body will most definitely help you with your boundaries. The light body needs help because the light body doesn't want boundaries. It just wants to give, and it just wants to love, and it just wants to, it just wants to embrace and all this stuff. And it's our inner child, we can't get rid of it, but you got to take a seat. And the toxic part of you, we do got to get rid of. The toxic part of the shadow body, we need to start purifying and get rid of. But it's not something that happens in one day. It's something that has to happen every single day. And unfortunately, a lot of us have already, have been drained before. A lot of us have had to pick ourselves back up because of how much we have allowed ourselves to be drained within our light energy and the non-setting of boundaries and the giving of energy and the not realizing that somebody is gaslighting, not realizing that somebody is trying to connect to you a little bit too fast. This is stuff that we had to learn by ourselves, quite literally from each other. Is where we had to learn this from, because wasn't nobody teaching us this. These days, if you want to learn anything, you got to go get a freaking a bachelor's and an associate's and all of this stuff. Is what they say. But in reality, education is everywhere. Let me just say that. Education is everywhere. If you just look, we live in a new era now. There ain't no reason why somebody should not be taking this education and using it to their advantage as much as you possibly can before it's not there no more. Or it's, it's limited, or whatever it is that they're going to do with it in the future. You can go look up what a gaslighter is now. You can go look up what a manipulator is now. You can go look at the signs that somebody is trying to leash, or somebody is trying to connect a little bit too fast. Somebody is trying to overstep that boundary. This is stuff that you can be ready for. This is stuff that we don't have to allow it anymore. Do not think that you have to allow it. Sorry, y'all. But yep, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and end it on this note. Don't ever feel like setting a boundary takes away from you being a good person. In fact, it's going to add to your character, because you're going to know how to really rise in the love that you have for others instead of falling in the love that you have for others. It's really time for us to rise in that love, rise in our shadows, rise in our light, and let everything rise within us instead of fall. And if we allow energies within us that seek to make us fall, ultimately we're going to end up falling. And then how will we be able to give any of that love to anybody? How will unconditional love really be able to spread if we ain't got nothing to spread no more? Because we allowed it all to be nitpicked by everybody and anybody, and people who probably don't even deserve you, boo. Because you a gem, okay? You really are. You out here doing the work. You got to be selective. Please be selective. Be a little selfish if you need to. Don't do it all the time. But if you feel like you need to, if somebody is pushing you that direction, go ahead and go in that direction. Make sure that you are tapping into yourself every single time you come in contact with anybody that you don't know. Tap in with yourself. How do I feel about this person? Is this person rubbing me the wrong way? What feelings in my heart do I get around this person? When this person texts me, do I feel anxious, like I need to hurry up and get back to them? Does this person allow me to speak? Do they allow my own, my own self to shine? Or is it always about them? This is the stuff that we need to be able to know, y'all. And so I love y'all. Ashe Shalom. Keep on setting those boundaries. Keep on doing that shadow work. And don't you let nobody siphon that gold energy. I love y'all.